for newer people that joined just in a couple of days, right? So I do suggest that you guys read the PowerPoint. We're gonna have a class here on Sunday. I might have to move it Saturday. I'll know more tomorrow because we have 3 birthdays for friends, and we have 2 family birthdays this weekend. So it's pretty loaded week. I would say weekend for me and my wife with the kiddos. So I'll keep you guys updated if I have to shift it a day or whatever the reason timing works out. Because I'm pretty bad with figuring out all the calendars that I have with the family. Usually my wife does that. So I'll let you guys know where we stand on that. So on the highest level, right, when I look at the charts, as you guys might know here, right, we start on volume profile. We can start on the highest time frame, right? If you've never used TradingView before, it's under indicators. If you go under technicals and kind of look at the profiles, you can use periodic volume profile. I already have them up here, and then a session volume profile, which is your day-to-day. And then, of course, the fixed range volume profile, which you guys can find, where was it? Right here, fixed range volume profile, and you can save a favorite like this, and then it's available, so you can kind of draw it as you need here. Okay. We do change the settings, and you guys will find that in a PowerPoint to 68% of the value area, and there's a reason for that, and it's in the PowerPoint too, the reason behind it. So I don't want to give you everything on the plate because you guys will not understand it. And it's more important that you guys understand it than me just tell you every piece of detail that you need to know. In terms of structure right now, you guys see that we basically reclaimed structurally. We have reclaimed a really important level here. When you guys go on 4 hours, I would say there's a little bit of structure here from the last consolidation that they had, and then somewhere around here. Let me just shift down. So somewhere around here, they had a structure. They came, it was the resistance, and then it became support. So they you.
Hot mic, hot mic.
Yeah, let me see who that is.
I got it.
Thank you, Bean. Let me go on an ES. I apologize, that was an NQ. So if you guys look, there is some support here. There was previous support, now probably act like resistance, and we're kind of approaching that right here, right? So I would mark that area right here, about 43.50. That's going to be a big zone just because you have other traders, and it's really what others do, not necessarily what you're doing, right? It's the majority of the market. How do they plan on playing it, right? Just so you know, there's an SR flip, I would call it here, and I'll be aware of it just because it's a bigger time frame. It's a daily. So 43.50, we really need to clean up the 43.72 to kind of proceed higher, but there is a little supply here, right? So if you guys look, this little box that we have here, let me just highlight this. When you look at this, this is the last demand that's basically, last supply that wasn't tapped yet, right? You have a supply here, you have a supply here. So if you were to draw your profile from here to the bottom, you'll see that the POC is sitting around 43.68. Is there a chance that they're targeting this? Yeah, definitely. This is, I would say, this is their target that they've been after. And when you look at, the high volume nodes and low volume nodes in this, so they had one around 42.60 here. And if you guys can't see it, you can always change this to about 65 or whatever fits your eyes. For me, maybe 80. I'm just going to change. Okay, so now you'll be able to see, on this trip from the top structure high here to the structure low, where's majority of the volume here? In this case, we're grabbing just a tad bit too much, so I'm just going to adjust it here and click don't extend, right? Make sure you have that. So now we're able to see that we had this high volume node here, right? That volume node starting somewhere on the bottom of 43.16 all the way up to 43.30, and then you have a high volume node of 43.68, and that volume node here is going to be huge in my opinion, and they'll probably set they're able to crack this level here. I would anticipate that they're going to go to the value area high of this level, which is about 44.11. And if you guys recall, we struggled at this level quite a bit previously. And I think that's where we sold off from last time anyways. So then what we do is you look to the structures, right? And some people do even from the higher time frames, right? If they want to see the whole move down, then it gives you the picture, right? From the highest high that we recently had, these are all lower highs, lower highs, lower lows. We still haven't really put, when you think about daily in terms of swings, the market's moving kind of in the waves, right? So we really haven't put in, if I can just click properly, we haven't really put in what? What hasn't changed?
Higher high.
Direction.
The direction hasn't changed. We're still making, as much as people want to excite this and make it more than it is, we haven't changed the structure yet. The change of character hasn't happened, right? So once they clear this 43.31, the chance of us hitting 45.13 are really, really high, right? I would say they're superior, most likely we're going to hit it. And I would definitely be aware of this level here because it's also the single prints or low volume node at this level right here. So 44.30 will be a big level for the market, right? Because it will be the structure high and they're going to try to attempt that and break it out. But before they get there, 43.67 to me is a key level for the sentiment from the structure standpoint and FVP. Now that we have this picture, what we do is we look at the monthly profiles. You want to go on the 4 weeks, right? I'm sorry, on 4 hours. And then these are monthly profiles. I'm just going to delete this one for a second. And then we pay attention to, how are the market profiles stacking? And you see the major overlap here. I would say the POC, if you were to draw this from here to here, the POC is most likely going to be in this area somewhere on the top right here. And it's right on at 45.15. So that level here is going to be huge. If they're to come to this level, and I think they will eventually, if they crack this here, this would be a good swing short where we would, again, load up on some puts for further dated like we did, around here on SPY or whatever your preference is. That's a level that, and I would doubt that they're going to break that easy. You will get a reaction similar to the reaction that we got at 41.40. Okay. And it seems like we tapped pretty much every epoch here down on bigger time frames. So now that you're looking at this, your October value area high is sitting right at I don't know if you guys have the same level here, about 4,400 even for me. So this is going to be a fairly decent level for the market, right? Just because we just finished that month, right? And now you're coming back and testing the extreme of it, right? You did not like any value above before. So let's see how you respond to it when you get there again. And that's why we marked that October value area high, just means the extreme of October value is there. And then you have, I don't know why it takes 10 clicks. And then the POC. And this POC will be fairly important for them. And it seems like they just literally cracked through this POC like almost as if it wasn't there. Literally zero reaction to it. Just a little bit slowed down. And I don't know if you guys recall, we talked about these volume nodes last time. Do you guys remember? I believe it was Sunday. We talked about each one of these offering some kind of rejection, and then you can play these in between. And look how nicely that did. As we approach this level here, I think we have a tendency to slow down a little bit on the market auction. So I would definitely watch this as we're coming up here to 43.66 plus few points. It would be a big level for rejection here. For me, I don't have a lot of reward to go along in this area. I'll be looking to potentially, if they go up and lose it, they'll be shorted back to the. It's almost like a triple distribution here. You have 1, 2, and a big 3, and then mini distributions in between in terms of liquidity. But I have a strong feeling that, well, just looking at the market, not necessarily a feeling, but structurally, we are set up to go higher, right? So here they had support. Not there. Right here, they had support, but considering that they are inside the October, they're probably going to explore all the way to 4,400. That would be the ultimate target, and then they will get a true test. If you're able to go above this value area, which would also mean that you're above August here, right? I'm sorry, September value area low. If you're above that value area low, you're going to be triggering potentially the break of 4,400. You're going to run another 100 points. So between monthly value areas, you're looking to see if this value area is not being rejected. It got rejected down, but then it got brought back inside. And even though we were 2 days in, you can see here developing value area for November, right? So 42.38 and all the way to the recent highs of 43.40, and they didn't like it. And then you see here, if you lose this 43.15, most likely I would say you're going to visit 42.65 if you're not able to hold this here. Okay. Then if you go back on PVP and change it to the weekly, it'll give you a smaller, right? It's still a swing size period, but it'll give you a little bit more closer look, what's been happening week over week. And we had stacking, of course, up top, and then lower value here. And then you see, what do you guys see on this profile here?
More KC.
We're way out of the value area.
I see Jackson's dinosaur and a bunch of single prints.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty, I would say it's pretty poor structure all around. When you zoom in a little bit, there's poor structure here. It means there's low volume. The auction was not necessarily done properly there. Most likely they're going to revisit these levels, right? And then you see a little bit of a high volume node building here. So if they're able to crack this level tomorrow, like call it PDH right here, 43.40, high chance we tap 43.60 tomorrow. I think that's probably the highest probability. Unless we go above 43.40 and lose that, then it changes the deal. But so far, we are today is Thursday, I believe. 4 days in, and this profile looks like this, and the value area actually high shifted down compared to the previous week. Value area low.
So I don't mean to interrupt. I think there's a Virgin POC at 43.70 as well.
Maybe on daily, not on weekly. I'm not on the dailies yet.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yep. So on the weeklies, you have Virgin POC sitting at 4,400 here, right? Which is going to be almost a dual POC here, right? So this would be your Virgin, and Virgin POC is just basically your POC that hasn't been tested. You left from that POC and you never came back. Okay. And it seems like they're getting back inside this value here from October. If you guys look, they're trying to regain and hold this value. What is this? October 13th. So this is important for them to hold. If they're able to establish value here, then most likely they're going to target the opposite, which everything points to at least 4,400, and that's about 70 points away. And I don't know what they did with Apple after hours. I didn't come back to look, but that could be a reason why if they can buy back Apple, they can buy back this market. But so far, this move is just not really, in terms of volume, it's not checking out, right? Because there's a couple of questions that you guys should be answering when we move inside value areas, and one of them was where the market wanted to go there. How did it get there? Did the volume confirm it, and did the value areas shift? Well, I would say the volume did not confirm it. The value areas did not confirm it either. So, call it whatever you want. We ran, major points, right? We ran over 117 points thus far, but there's no confirmation that institutional traders are in yet. Right. Just looking at volume here, I just don't see much to confirm it. And then if you go on the daily, look at this volume on this candle, guys. There's none. It's not even above average volume, and the candle is pretty significant here. So I just don't see a lot of confirmation yet, even though the weekly we still have a day. But look at this candle here. Yeah, but they left. If they can crank this volume up tomorrow, that would be probably the most important they do. But it just does not look promising. So we'll watch on a bigger time frame. If we close above 43.73, by all means, am I in to swing some calls on SPX or SPY? But as of right now, I would say just caution. The volume is not there, even though they've been buying on footprints aggressively. I guess just not in the volume that we would expect. Okay, let me make sure I mark the POC here for a second. Yep, so there's some high volume nodes here sitting. Okay. And then the last piece is that we look at the dailies and see how we progress day to day, so that way you understand what is actually happening. And if you look here, you consolidated a little bit. We had a 4-day balance, right, between here and here, and then double value area high, and then we exploded higher, and now you have this. I don't even know what to call this profile. It's almost like a double distribution. It is maybe triple distribution, double distribution volume profile. We closed, I would say, below this. But I would say we had a late spike here. I don't know if you guys noticed it here, but this to me looks like we'll check on TPOs, but this definitely looks like a late spike. They started at 330 and then they pushed higher all the way till they started at 130. So late spike, there's one at 330 here. They pushed it a little bit. I don't even know how many points is that. About 8 points. It's not significant, but we'll see how it looks on that market profile to see if it justifies any of those breaks, if it has single prints around it.
That was right before the Apple earnings.
Oh, of course, yeah, typical. So I would definitely mark these value area highs and lows tomorrow, because there's a chance tomorrow that they could do some V-shaped stuff, meaning that if they come back to this volume node here, this is something you guys should pay attention to. I mentioned this level just moments ago. It's 43.15. 43.15 carried a lot of delta before. I would say 3 weeks back, it was a huge level. And even today, they came back a few times and kind of tested around it just because it was a big level before. They traded happily there. They're going to do that again. The market remembers it. Let's see. So this is our PDPOC. And then the value area low is sitting here at 43.04. And for people that are fairly new, this is your value area. This is where 68% of the volume for the day was traded. And why that's important is, does anyone want to take a answer? Want to help them out? Why is it important that where we know 68% of the volume was?
That's where the short-term traders trade.
That's where the short-term traders trade. And it could be that there's some long-term traders, but most of the time, inside the value area, you're going to have a lot of short-term traders, because the long-term traders look for what?
They look for better value.
They look for favorable prices.
Yeah, better prices, I should say, yeah.
Yep, so they look for favorable prices, and favorable prices for them happen to be outside where it's a low value area, low volume. And if this is 68% of the volume, that means what? 32% of volume is below here in this case. And in this case, when it's kind of like a D shape, you have 68 here, that means the rest of the volume is split somehow here. And this looks almost like like you had a double day, right? You dip on higher, you didn't like it, you went lower, and then you spent some time with the late spike here. Again, I would say this was definitely a late spike here on Wednesday. Okay. Any questions so far on volume profile? I'd love to see us crack about 44.40 and come back and lose this POC. I would not short this right below this as long as this POC is here, right? It wouldn't make sense from reward perspective. We need to see this pop and then lose, and then I think we can expect to see something like this. I would probably get out of the way at this level here. I would close my shorts. If we crack below, you could play this for about 12 points here, but I would be interested in closing majority here because this level is huge. And we'll see how big it is if they test it, right? So I'll definitely look out for this. If we do get the break on the upside, you're going to have something like this. So you have literally 10 points in between here. In this range, this is where you have 10 points. You can play that. And then it's gonna be potentially either, you know, a grind or they're gonna run it here. And it's hard to tell just because there's a lot of volume in that area. There's a lot of value area stacked and there's POCs. So I wouldn't look to trade necessarily between 43.50 and 43.66. I would let somebody else explore that, one of you guys or somebody from Twitter. If you guys are excited to trade, I would not take that. Let me just delete these little arrows. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna turn on to TPO just to see kind of what did the day look like. And for TPO, you want to go on regular trading hours because we don't care how much time you spent. TPO, what I'm showing here is measuring the time at the price. How much time did you spend at a specific level instead of the volume you spent at a specific level? And there's a big difference there, right? And once you guys go through the class, you guys will understand this a little bit better. I mean, there's some massive gaps here. This is a huge gap that we had today. 30 something points on a gap here. So we basically jumped over what? Over the 3-day balance where we dumped from. We basically skipped that part. We said we don't need to trade there. Interesting. And then you guys see that this is going to be a massive area here, right? So the POC that we had from earlier, and that level there is going to be huge, right? So you guys can even see that just by looking at the stacking of these TPOs. And now when we look at the daily, right? So I think one of these here, we had some single prints and we had a bottom with the unfair low. Unfair low means that there was other time frame buyers coming in. They retested the poor high. And now we have a poor high here as well at 42.65. And that was a huge volume node. So really interesting that they just popped over it. And then you also have a poor high here. Why do we identify poor highs?
You mean
Or low?
Yeah, poor low, sorry. Now you guys know how dyslexic I am. Yeah, why do we identify poor lows or poor highs?
See if there'd be a sell off or buy up.
Anyone else?
Unfinished business.
Say it again.
Unfinished business.
Yeah, it's unfinished business. And when you have unfinished business, that means they usually come back to finish it. So you have one single print here. One single print is the letter A showing this. You have unfinished business there. So most likely they can, you know, if they lose this period here, 43.10, we said 43.15, and you guys see that POC of this is pretty much like right here, 43.18, 43.15 is the area. I would probably even put it somewhere like this. This is going to be a fairly important area for them to hold. For now, it's a VPOC, right? And I would just strike a level here, and I'll put that as TPO VPOC there, right? And you see the 43.18 is going to be fairly important. They spent some serious time at that level. TPO value area high, very close to PD POC from volume profile perspective. We have single prints here, and now I'm just going to turn these back on. It seems like, you know, this was a late push by, I guess it would be the end period, if you count the periods correctly. TK, did you figure out how to fix this or not yet?
No, sir. Aren't.
Might have to submit an incident for Trading View team, see if they can help us. But I would say this is a, you know, not count, if I count these M's as N's, this is probably all single prints here on right here from the bottom to the top. In that case, right, it's going to be important to know whether the single prints are coming in, you know, late spike. That means they have to be tested. And if you're able to go above the spike tomorrow, if we open above the spike, That means high probability that we're going to continue. If we open below the spike, what does that mean?
Return to the POC.
Unvalidated.
It's not validated. That means that most likely if you do not like prices to go higher, you're going to come back lower. If you open within the spike, right, tomorrow, that's basically indecision, undecisive moment for them. And spikes mean, why do we call it spikes? It's a good
Because it is the
question.
last period, and the last period cannot be validated. Was this a genuine move up or not?
That's correct. We don't
They
know,
ran
right?
out of time.
Yeah, they ran out of time and we can't validate it because we don't have another period to see what they plan on doing, right? So we have to validate it tomorrow. If they're able to auction higher than that, especially if it's a gap up and they don't fall below that period, let's say in this case right here, 43.35-ish. If they don't, 43.35 exactly. If they don't go below that, then it's validated that they want to go higher. They're going to most likely auction higher.
Shorty, I got a question about this.
Mhm.
So if you turn the extended
I do
on,
too. It's
the
on
after
it's on the quiz.
the after hours popped this up and cleaned those up and actually extended that.
Yeah,
But
that TPO is
so how
usually,
does that how does that work with TPO if the
you
after
don't
hours?
care for it.
Okay.
Peter never even considered, I would say, anything past it.
Okay.
He cared for cash. I'm not saying it's wrong, but that's why I look at volume profile with extended to see if there's any unusual action, right? Because after 4:30, you can only be in the market for how long? SPX closes at 4:15, right? They settle the options. SPX options settle at 4:15 on 0DT. Meaning if you're, in the money or not, or whatever the closure is, right? SPX closes as 0 closes, right? It's not, you don't get shares assigned, it's cash settled. So they have 15 minutes, and then you have 45 minutes after that for ES to rebalance. And really, there's no reason to even consider that in terms of market time, because it's just usually there's not enough action for that to be counted for. Okay, good question. So I would look, if I'm playing this tomorrow, where would you guys go for a long bounce?
Over the value
The
high.
POC.
POC would be the bounce play, correct? To 43.18 to 15. We'd look at that. And then on a retest, if we break PD value, tomorrow is the most important piece, is to look at where we
Open.
compared to where we open. Tomorrow is the most important day to see where we open. Because if we're opening within the value area of today, right? And if you guys look here, this is our PD value area high, PD POC, PD value area low. Seems like you're opening, let's see, 43.31. I'm just going to switch back. You're kind of like right there, right here, right now. So if we're able to hold, I would say anything above 30 is bullish. Anything, if they open below here, high chance we're going to hit this 43.15. Bulls do not want to lose this level here tomorrow. Like, it's not in their favor to lose, and I'll show you guys why. What do you guys expect to see when I draw this right now? It's funny, look at your profile.
Volume at the bottom.
Wow.
If they lose this 43.04, just remember, PD value area low, and below that, that means there's low volume. So once you crack this 43.04,
do you want this on regular time or extended?
Or even, it's gonna look even probably worse. Here, I'll give you the whole spiel here. They added a little bit of volume there, but not much, right? So once they, you see this level here that I mentioned, the 15 level, once you crack this and below, then you basically are headed to 43.04. you lose that, right? I would say if you lose this midpoint, which was the half of this range today, and that would be the bottom of this volume node, you're really setting up to clean this up all the way down to 42, 50, 60s. And if you guys remember, what was the 50, 60s? Do you guys recall this? Let me go on 3-day trading. You guys remember what we talked about here? Look at this. At 42.65 was a 3-day balance that we had where we auctioned lower from. We broke the balance down, and now we just magically somehow gapped over that whole 3-day value and the POC here because we rejected this POC to a T, if you guys remember perfectly. Right. So now if they want to see buyers, what is their, like, if they don't want to collapse, what is the level they have to hold?
Worst case, they need to hold that line, yeah, above that 3 zone.
So this was our previous 3-day range high, right? Previous 3-day range high. If you guys remember, it was 42.83, and I believe it was 42.12, or around here. Yeah, 42.12. 42, yeah, 42.12 here. That was the range with the spike down, right? So if they're able to not hold this level here, and you guys remember what we had on, I keep saying remember, but remember the text that I had, the 42.90 before?
Yeah, the 42.
Yes, the boxing. Was that the boxing?
I put weird names so you guys can remember it. It was a boxing match. Well, they fucking skipped the ring of this boxing match. They just went over it. So if they come back to it and they can't hold it, who won? Most likely it's going to be the bears that are going to gain the control, and they're going to send it back all the way to October value area low. Okay, so you want to keep an eye on this level tomorrow. They can execute this tomorrow. I'm going to check to see what Apple did. What did Apple do? It was 177. Oh, wow.
Apple's on sale.
Well, I guess they pushed it, and I don't know if they give they don't give guidance. I don't know why they dumped, but that's okay. Good.
They given a lesser guidance than what they promised earlier.
Oh, they actually gave guidance?
Yeah, they said like next quarter is going to be just exactly as the same it was the last year. Earlier it was 5% higher, but this way they reduced the guidance.
Well, that's bears. This is their fourth quarter, but no growth. So.
Yeah. And their growth is coming only from the service. The rest of the things are even a lot of things are negative. Phone is 2%. Probably I feel that's why like it's coming.
Yeah, if your growth's only coming from service, what does that tell you about the product?
Product saturated, they're trying to make money out of the product that is already sold, the environment they created.
If the innovation slowing down, that means also they jeopardized quality of their products.
Yeah, cheaper product.
So that's usually not a good sign for a growing company, right? I would say that's not the best scenario. This is just we haven't seen a move yet. And as much as I want to say we've seen a move, we haven't seen a move yet. So I'm gonna do NQ real quick. Why is this level important?
Because we're all addicted and that's a POC. I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding, but yeah.
Big resistance.
That's gonna be a huge level in terms of volume profile because I'm grabbing just the area that we're in right now. Right here. So I grabbed, we can even grab this candle here. So I mean, we spent a lot of time here, guys. I mean, you're talking about from May to here, you're in a range. So if you just do this, you know, let's say
Big D.
So if you look at this, you know, 42.56 and grab it to the top, I mean, we haven't really broken out of this, right? And this could look like, you know, if you follow Wyckoff. I mean, what could this look like here?
Bull flag.
Well, no,
Sorry.
Wyckoff doesn't do any of that. But if this was the range bottom and they tripped people below that, this could be a really, really strong spring here.
Mm.
And the springs tend to go pretty ballistic, right? So you have
Yep.
to keep an eye on this 15117 tomorrow or whenever. Everything in NQ is tomorrow, honestly. The way we've been running, there's no reason not to believe we can't run 200-300 points anymore in a
Yeah.
day. I mean, if you guys look here, this week alone, we had 715 points.
Wow.
And, you know, if you just played 1M and Q or something, that's a ton of money. Okay, so I'll definitely watch this level. This is going to be my sentiment because this is, you know, I would say
15117, huh?
yep, that's my key level.
Okay.
Yeah.
For all my drug
That was
addicts.
the sell-off POC.
Yep, and I would expect them to reoffer at this level, meaning that somebody who's selling would be there, right? It would make sense. Maybe
Yeah.
even below here at 1540, because that's where that order broke this. So, I mean, you're talking about 161 days we are in this range. So if they're able to crack through this POC with ease, then we know something's off, right? They're really bullish for some reason here. And it could be due to the bonds, right? But when you look at this on a weekly, volume doesn't check out. Does it check out on the biggest volume here? Smallest volume, but almost the biggest body is here as we're approaching resistance here. Something doesn't add up to me, right? It's not clear what they're trying to do here. Either they're gonna push higher, but let's say if they push it back to here, to this level, let's say tomorrow, what should you do here?
Go long.
Go long.
Long.
Good. This would be a good long level here. I would say not many people will have this level to anticipate it, so they could short it, you know, based on these gaps, and they could play on these bounces. They could crack through that gap zone and literally give you a really good entry there on the bottom, right? So I'd pay attention to this tomorrow. Not saying it happens tomorrow, we'll identify where, but if they make a lower low, right? Or yeah, right here, if they break the daily low PDL, high chance that they might trigger something lower, right? But I would say same thing as yes, it's going to be crucial to see where we open in terms of value areas tomorrow. Okay, so this is more of a like an overnight low, but I consider PDL. And now you guys see here, how funny is this? The rejections on value area high for today. I would not initiate any longs near this POC, but I would consider shorting as we come to 14,996.25. It should ring a bell from today as we were trading live. I think I mentioned this level a few times. I think it was 496.75, but very close. So it looks like a, you know, uppercase P. In uppercase P, we are looking for continuation, or if you lose the value area low, most likely you're going to go to the next volume node that you have, and that would be somewhere around 14.8. So there's a quick 100 and something points in between, right? Yeah, between here and here. This would fly down, and if they break this level, there's a high chance that they're going to gap down completely, I would say. And if you guys look here, if I just grab, I'm trying to find a level where it would make sense here. I'm on ETH and look at this volume here. If they're able to lose this volume, know that they're trying to hold right now. So they just got to lose the bottom of this or lose the PD value or low. Look at below. You don't really have any major support there, right? Until you get to this 4-month value area low there. So something that I would keep in mind as we're trading. I'm going to switch to TPO just to see, because this one usually is more fun than ES. All right, so we have a poor high on the top, and we have a really unfair, unfair low. The gap basically gapped over, and it starts at 14.9. So I would mark that level as a retest level, and I would expect buyers to show up here. So anything below 14.9, what are the chances that you're going to fill this? Super duper high here. You lose 14.9. I would say this is a really, really good chance to short here. So this is going to be super duper quick here, below 14.9 to 18.10. If that happens, it's going to be quick. You have this POC here. I would expect that they're going to have a first retest bounce at this level right here. So if they come here, I would expect them to bounce right here, and I would play this level here at 14.944. And I don't know where they are right now. Oh,
14,957.
You'd
So-
play it how? Shorty, long or short?
oh, I would play long here. I mean, they came here, they lost regain, and they're controlling it now. So it's a good level here. They have to hold this green zone here. If they break this overnight, this is your bearish sentiment giving you, hey, we could not hold the value. And then if they lose the value on the top, that's basically them rejecting it. And that would mean that this was a what? On a P shape, what would this mean? On P shape, it would mean it's a short cover rally, right? Especially on volume profile. Value area high. And we could be pinned here. It literally could be pinned in this area tomorrow. So I would definitely watch this. If they do have a range day, if they open, and they might have an extended typical day tomorrow and do a late push up tomorrow. They're probably going to target 1550 or so.
That 14.9 is 14,934, right?
Say it again.
The level, the 14.9, you said it's 14,934, right? With
44.
POC. 44?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The PPO POC.
Yeah, for some reason I have mine at
Regular time, RT?
no, yeah,
RTH?
RTH, but mine's at 34.
Hmm.
14,934.
I would watch this. If they reclaim 51.7, they can quickly pop here, go to 15,200. So that's about 100 points here. And then over that, you have another 90 points there. So they could, if there's any good reasons tomorrow, they could execute this, right? But it's just a very, very congested zone here. And you guys see this was, what is this, August? POC sitting here as well. So it seems like a really big zone here to crack for them with no volume. And we'll check to see how's their volume compared to the ES, and it's still crap. So they got to crack this tomorrow. I mean, obviously, they got to break the high. If they break the high, they have ability to go, what is this, 100 points, guys, tomorrow. So I would watch for this break here, right? Let them break over this little node. If they crack over this, this can happen quick, right? Are they going to give you 100 points clear? No, they have a little break here. They can stop right here at 1573 tomorrow. Okay. I'll be trading live tomorrow, and I'll also post my, for newer folks, I'm going to post it in Shorty's Corner where you guys can kind of read and follow along. And also you have a link that you can use, right? I give you my trading view link and I post it. And if you click on it, you can do a lot more cool stuff with it than if I just send you a screenshot. You can see my updates on the chart as if I'm adding more stuff to it. So you guys can use that kind of monitor and look at the charts and start learning.
Oh, and we can rearrange and stuff.
I don't know if you can rearrange.
No.
Don't rearrange
I'm
anything,
kidding.
please.
I'm kidding, bro.
If it was Dumpsty, he'd probably tell me to go along here or something stupid like that. So don't do that. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys got the quiz. I would suggest that you guys take the quiz. If you can, take it a little bit. I'm gonna add a few more questions there about the date types. I don't expect you to know the date types. I do this quiz before the class and I do the quiz after, so that way I know how good was the content, was it easy for you guys to understand it, and if I need to change it, right, I change the PowerPoint based on what I'm seeing, I guess, from the answers and the quiz results. The people that did take the quiz, actually, I'm pretty impressed so far with the results. So let me kind of give you guys what you guys did.
I didn't do too bad.
If there is incorrect questions, can we it again after learning, or we should go only
you
once?
can definitely take it, right?
Catch?
So if you look here, the median score is about 17 out of 26. There's a handful of people that got perfect score. There's 2 people got 25. And if you flip this, right, kind of, it's almost like a volume profile. Majority of you guys were between 13 and 21. And then you have some no prints here, right? Hopefully some of you guys start shifting. Burnside got 2 because Dumpsty took it for him. And you guys, you want to be shifting a little bit and understanding, right?
Yeah.
And I'm able to see, frequently missed questions. Price can only be what? Right. Can be above the value area, below the value area, or with the value area.
PLC.
Yeah. A lot of you guys, 40% of respondents selected that it's at POC. It can be, but you have to read the question and the context, right? It can be a POC, but if it's a POC, that means it's within value area, right?
Yes.
Yep. So you have to. I could make these questions as simple as this, but I don't know if you guys are learning if I make them as easy as that.
Yeah. No, you did fine, man.
I answered every one of those because technically it could be at any price level.
It can be, but that's why I said the context.
Yeah.
It's above, below,
Yeah,
or
I
within.
did.
So I put at POC because if it's within value area,
Yeah.
And prices either what?
price either accepted or rejected always.
Hey, Shorty, I have a question about the quiz.
Right.
I don't know if this is the right time. So
Sure.
how do we identify the excess?
And want to help her?
And then
long tail, the
the
long tail on both sides.
Single
Either
print.
side.
Single prints on either side.
Well, I picked that and I got it wrong.
Even I got it wrong.
There were 2 answers in that, which were right.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
It's access high and access low, single prints, buying tail or selling tail. I'm trying to teach you the 2 different verbiage on the question, right?
Yeah,
Because a lot of
they're
people
same
do access
you
high
said
and
that-
access low.
You said that if it was multiple choice, that it would have a square, not a circle.
I'm pretty sure it has a square where you can select both.
Yeah, it does, honey.
Yeah, it had square. Yeah.
Okay. And
I
then
will-
the,
Let me cover something here. This would be a square.
yes, Shorty. I noticed.
If you see a circle, that
Oh
means
my
you
God,
only
I
get
had it
one.
backwards.
If you see a circle, it's only one answer. If you see a square, it could be one or all of them are correct, or it could be two. I don't know. I'm not gonna
It could be all four of them, like you had one of them.
Yep. So
Okay. And then the
the way
question,
you guys are watching answers here, huh?
the question that you had with the TPO diagram, what was the answer, the correct answer on that? I got that wrong.
4206 to 42.
This one here.
It's
Shit,
A
I
and
Yes.
B. A and
40.
B.
So look,
40.
guys, if it starts in A and B, remember A and B is your initial balance. That means 4206,
Mm-hmm.
and you find the lowest B. Where is the lowest B?
Oh,
Approximately
4270
176.
something. Yeah, 76.
Oh, look,
okay.
that's the answer.
Well, A and B is always the initial.
No, I know, but there's a bunch of A's and a bunch of B's.
But
I
you
know.
always
Trust me,
find the
honey.
highest and the lowest B.
Okay.
Just think of A as the first 30 minutes and B as
Yeah.
the second 30 minutes.
And
I
price
know,
in
but
the
there's a
second
lot of
30 minutes danced in here.
But there's a lot of them because that's the price traded at in between the top A and the bottom A.
It's on the.
Okay.
the price
Got
fluctuated
it.
in between.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the where the price spent the time at.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And if you guys think these were hard,
Oh Lord.
Oh no.
next section, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh shit.
Hey, Shorty.
Who would have thought I was gonna go to school again at 59?
What's the latest version of the PowerPoint? I was on version 21, and there was a couple of blank slides on there.
Yeah. So I have new slides to go in, but if I give you that PowerPoint, then you might ace this quiz before you even get
Okay. We don't want to do that.
No,
Okay.
so I'm just kind of holding back. So I can give you guys answers, but to me, it's more important that you guys can look at this and truly understand it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, I had a professor
Just
back
if
in
you take
college that,
notes, then you can cheat.
yeah, we had a professor in derivative class. Anytime you didn't know a test question, you just go to him and you're like, hey, Mr. Johnson, like, I'm really close to this question, but can you like explain a little bit? And he literally gives you the whole fucking answer.
Yeah.
And all you see is a line of people with questions for Mr. Johnson. Everybody has derivatives and Black-Scholes formula questions, right? So that's not the idea, right? The idea is for you guys to struggle a little bit, to dig into it, why you got it wrong, and kind of question yourself,
Yeah.
look at the charts, come back. See
I
if it
went
makes
back
sense.
to my notes, man.
It
and
makes us
I
think.
didn't want to
It's
look, but I
awesome.
went back to my notes, and the answers were there.
Yeah. We're in Professor Shorty's class.
Shorty, what is the book you would
Yeah,
recommend to
master.
on the TPO?
I would so I did get the tapes. I'm gonna share that soon. I have two tapes that don't have really good audio. But I would read Mind Over Markets. I think that's the Bible on market profile.
Mind over markets. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Thanks,
boring
sir.
read, but it's a good read.
It's a
No,
PDF in our book list over there in
no,
the Discord.
Yeah,
it's a boring
Thank you.
read.
Thank you.
it's a very
Thanks, Shorty.
boring read.
Thanks,
Yeah,
sir.
it's really dry stuff. But
Very nice.
yeah, the audiobook that I'm gonna share with you guys, or audio class by Peter. Peter is the guy that invented market profile, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the way he explains it in the audio is first, just think about it. You have somebody that invented something and they're teaching you that.
That's awesome.
So there's a big difference between, his students and stuff teaching even myself versus somebody, it's like, if you meet
Yeah, man,
Einstein and
really.
he's going to teach you something, right?
Yeah.
It's totally different than secondhand knowledge, right? But you you guys will have that shortly here. So as soon as I get it
That's
compiled,
awesome, man.
so I'll share that with you guys. You guys will have access to it. So you can kind of follow along. But as long as we get to the market profile, you guys understand it, I think that class will be the icing on the cake.
One question, Shorty. The normal variation type of day is in control. Is the divided between the long and the short term traders?
Which one? Normal variation?
Type day, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Controls divided. Yep.
Okay.
Neutral and normal, short terms in control. Trend, who's in control?
Trend, hold on.
Long term.
Long term.
Always long term.
Trend, always long term.
Yeah. See. Gonna ask you guys something, but slipped my mind now.
Were you gonna ask us if we were some of the ones buying at the top?
I know I have it. I know I have it written anyway. The long term on the trend day. No, I got it somewhere. Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't put in there the basic principles.
Which ones?
That balance versus imbalance, acceptance versus rejection, continuation versus change.
If you guys know that by now for
That's
volume
basic stuff.
profile, I would.
Yeah, you had that in the first one. I think the balance and balance.
Yeah, you guys should know that by now. I don't want to give you easy stuff. You need to get over it.
Yeah, I thought I'd, try to get away with that.
Yeah. wait till we cover the TPO counts. You guys are gonna. TPO counts gets really, really interesting. It can get complex.
Well, we just started, man.
Yeah, TPO counts are big, especially when you're trying to identify long-term traders inside value.
Great.
It's totally opposite than what you think, right? If you have 13 TPOs above the mean, 50 TPOs below the mean, you're in a typical day. What does it mean? Right. It'll be fun. Hopefully, you guys will pick it up, right? I mean, and a lot of people, honestly, I just can't. Right? When people were like, "Man, if I can't learn this in a month, like, it's probably better not to be interested."
Well, if you block yourself,
You cannot learn this, and you cannot learn a language in 30 days. And this is a totally different language than RSI and MACD, guys.
I'm still trying to learn and fully grasp the footprint, honestly.
Yeah, footprints is, I would say, 10 times easier than market profile. So footprints is easy. You just see the X-ray of a candle. You see the bid and ask, and you see how the volume is distributed between the candles. That's what volume profile does, but footprints does it one level lower. So you see the shelves on volume, but now you see the volume. What was it traded? How aggressive was it? Was it aggressive upside, aggressive downside? And then is there, again, a poor high, poor low is in footprints too, right? If it's 0 on the top, it's completed.
Yeah.
So eventually, for most of you guys, I don't know how long, right? We're all different. You're gonna look back and I see some people, they're already laughing at some of the things that they pick up. Like CK, I gave a clue the other day when we took the test that there was some single prints, right? And he was like, "Oh man, now it makes sense why it has to be fixed." Things start clicking the more you are surrounded yourself with market profiles, single prints. You'll start correlating this a lot. And the sad part is you'll have nobody in your family to talk to about it.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that.
Yeah,
that's so true.
I'd love to see my uncle. He's Cuban, don't speak English. Me trying to explain single prints to him.
Oh, dude, I mean, Even me telling my mom, like, what I do, I'm like, yeah, I sit in computers and I look at candlesticks and charts, and she's like, what?
You think I'm talking about candles, real candles?
No, I mean, you can't. Some people don't even, like, that are older, they don't even think you can make money. Like, seriously, they don't think you can make money on a computer.
No, he doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
He's telling me, you're just, man, he goes, you sure you're not wasting your time in there? I go, no, believe me, one day, all this is going to flourish, man.
Yeah. Gotta have a strong mindset for it, man, because right when you're about to quit, something might click.
Yeah, you definitely got to have some tough skin for this. No question.
That's when you're going to have a breakthrough, right, Shorty?
That will happen. It will happen, and you won't even know what you did wrong. I'm sorry, what you did right.
Yeah. And then you can't even really explain it to anybody.
You will never be able to explain. Some of you guys had the moment I talked to you, right, in one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Some people that became profitable, they had the moment, and you don't know how to describe it. Mentally, when you force yourself to stop doing something, I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna. Like today, honestly, like I've just logged off. Man. I'd rather draw my brick oven pizza than look at the charts that are in the range of 17 points.
Oh yeah.
And then you have new traders. They're sitting there. It's like, oh my god, I gotta take a trade. And for what? For me to be stopped out 14 times and then revenge trade shortly after that. Yeah, that's what I would have done. 10, 15 years back, I would have been doing the same shit most of you guys are doing.
They were coming for the stops today.
Oh, today was all about stop loss on. They gapped up and
holy shit, man! They were headhunting today.
Yep. And besides a couple of trades, I think I took 4 trades, 1 loss, 3 wins.
By the way, they did give Apex did reset the accounts that were blown because of the situation they had today.
That's
mine
good.
mine was reset. The eval account that I passed, it was blown and they reset it back. So
does that mean you get money back, or
they rolled it back to yesterday?
They rolled it back to
start
where
of the day.
you didn't lose anything.
But you didn't gain anything either. If you had any gains,
I was just starting, so I hadn't gained nothing because I had just started. So
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a lengthy conversation with TD as well.
Did they mess up your thing too?
Yeah, I had about I think it was 26 trades total, and I didn't click. I didn't fucking click at all.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
So it even happened on TD Ameritrade?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh wow, that must have been a global.
I mean, everybody was glitching. I think even Tradeovate had the glitch. TradeStation kicked me out as well.
Man, I posted mine. I don't know if you saw what I posted, but it literally was buying, like nonstop, like a loop.
Yeah.
5 MNQs until it got up to 100, which you couldn't buy anymore. Then it started erroring.
Yeah, buying and selling and buying
and then selling it, and then buying it back and selling it until it blew up the account.
How can you not tell that this is manipulation today, right? I mean, if you're buying shit like that, I mean, what if you did it for 100 million people?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's almost like I feel like my paranoia is like, oh, we just got hacked and they're using all our accounts to manipulate the market right now.
No, I mean, I did mention to you guys about banks.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the closed doors right now. I did tell you, maybe reach out to your bank, make sure your 2-factor and all security stuff is enabled, because I told you one of my friends is like high up there in security, some of the companies, and he said he hasn't slept in over about maybe 3 weeks now.
Wow.
So a couple of hacker groups that are combining right now. So
in our company, 400 million got double paid.
Say it again.
Our company, there was a commission for a broker. It got paid doubles, close to $400 million, only to be fined from that broker called us and say, like, what's going on? Like, I got more money. So it took like almost a month to get it back. It was a glitch in the interface, looks like.
Yeah, I mean, the more interfaces it has, the higher chances are of, I guess, errors and being vulnerable to hacks too. So that's
They
why
were saying on CNBC today that a lot of people are taking loans and borrowing more that they can pay back, and it's eventually going to catch up to the banks.
we can only blow the bubble so much. Eventually pops. So a lot of people are also delinquent. I'll send you guys a Fed report on delinquency, but the card delinquency is fairly bad right now. Remember I told you guys maybe 8 months ago about the delinquency rate, how it looked like a hook. It's picking up. I'll find a post. I said we got to keep an eye on that. And majority of the buyers in 2020 were 20 to 25-year-olds. And guess who got hired by all these tech companies during that, frenzy? It was those same kids that got hired. And who do you think got fired? Oh, those same kids got fired. Unless those kids were, I'm telling you this also from my perspective, what I see, these kids were getting 160, 170K right out of college. So you hire a kid that's going to make a PowerPoint, you can get rid of him and not feel that he was ever or she was ever there. The wage report.
So that and a hacker. Oh my goodness.
Hacking is going to be huge for the next, I would say, 6 months. So it's going to be important.
Hello?
Yep.
Can you say a little bit more about the hacking? I've always been paranoid about that. If you have any more information.
I don't have any more information. He can't really. He's at the C level, so he can't give me the details. But he did say that there are some extensive attacks.
Okay.
And we had some. I mean, there's a couple in the news in Texas. A couple of government agencies got hacked. Right, that was in the news, public news.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
Okay.
American Insurance got hacked too recently.
T-Mobile was hacked. Yeah. I would say a handful of companies were hacked. It's all about the PR, right? How do they, Equifax got hacked, 3 years back, and we're going to give you the identity access for free.
Yeah, the life
Hey,
block.
you want to hear a funny one? Local courthouse county, they got hacked and they were extorted for like $1 million or so for them to give access back to the court documents and all that. And I was
when you get ransomware like that, oh man, and figuring out the trace and where they got in, like the RCA behind it, the root cause analysis, it becomes a little bit of a nightmare, especially for a government.
well, the funny thing is, and even the local news, guess what? You never heard that they got busted.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad too,
Well, it's the media.
Well, Clorox got hacked really bad. Supposedly, they lost $2 billion worth of orders. That's public news. So I anticipate there's going to be a cybersecurity war before a nuclear war.
You mentioned that like a year and a half ago.
Yep. And you see how many hacks we got. Good to hear you,
I think actually a lot more of it's already going on behind the scenes. You just don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're keeping you occupied. Last year was COVID. This year it's Ukraine. We forgot about Ukraine. Let's talk about Israel. That's what the Roman Empire did exactly. Just focus on these little things while we do something else.
Yeah.
That's what most people are joining the military to do right now. It's just anti-online terrorists and hackers and everything like that. They're just not telling you how many times they protected, the United States from something, online, just to keep you from panicking so much.
Yep. They do it to protect you. That's
Yes, that's right. Just like how they lie about everything else. It's to protect us. It's for our own good. Big brother. Thank you, big brother.
Just pay our taxes, man.
So we buy the hack ETF.
Is there a hack, is there a hack ETF?
There is.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, you're kidding, right?
No, I think it's called hack. I know one of the
I'm gonna
big
look
funds
it up right now.
Wow.
Right there.
Wow. Wow.
Maybe we can do a volume profile on that.
Oh, I was standing up. I just sat down.
I guess ETFMG
What? Are you serious?
hack.
What's it made up of? What's in it?
What are ETFs again?
I don't know. I think there's a couple of these ETFs out there, but I've never looked into them.
Yeah, I must see what makes them up. What's in it? Look at this freaking bounce, March 20th.
Yeah, it was like $30.
Just accidentally hit the POC and went double. Oh man. I don't like it here, but man, I might add this to my list. So I don't know who remembers, but
Zscaler, let's go.
I love Zscaler. So I told you guys, anytime Zscaler goes to 100, I will add. Last time it paid dearly. I think those calls went from what, $2 to like 40.
Wow. How far out did you get?
We got, I think we played. I'll have to check the history to be 100% sure, but I'm thinking, when was it? Usually I buy 6 months, so I don't know when
They were
was.
leaps, weren't they? They were all the way
Yeah,
to the
they're
next year.
leaps. Yeah, they're
I
long.
think it was six months.
Yeah,
Like
I think it was 6 months.
you mentioned before that gap up when it dipped below that gap there. That is when you had mentioned that. Yeah, somewhere there.
And they were $2. They went up to, I think, like 68. So they
Wow.
went 200 to 7 grand.
Jeez.
I still have shares. I have some shares still on Zscaler. The only other one that I add a little bit every week is this one here. I'll keep adding here on this one.
Looks like you and everybody else is adding the last year.
Yeah, I'm adding here because they're going to be bought out. Their technology is actually truly based on AI and learning, and a lot of companies are going to use that. Actually, there's rumors that Crowd was going to buy it. So I did watch this. I'm watching for this, see what they play out, but I like S a lot. Yeah. If I can get Crowd close back to 100, that's a easy buy for me every time.
It's kind of cool looking back. This analysis, mini POC, major stuff they danced around, all time value very high.
Yep, I can't even get over it. I think this will be a good short here soon, but the fact that the wars and stuff are in, don't like it. I'm watching also crude oil a little bit more frequently now. If you guys look here, this consolidation that we're in since what, 21st, we're holding this shelf here and we keep bouncing. If we crack below this, then we can dump to 71, which is about $8 dip, and market will have probably a flip relationship, inverse relationship. So we will go higher, and you see that they're not finding value above 90 at all now. So until we close above 90, that won't move much. And then DXY, on the other hand, I honestly think we're not done with this move yet. I think they just slowed down a little bit here, and they had a nice sell-off, but let's see what happens.
So if they pump us up there, then the euro is going to drop down to about $1.
It should be at par, yeah. It should be at par or worse.
Yeah, they were 89 cents when they were up there at that other part.
Yeah, I think there would be the same relationship. I think there'd be less. Then the franc would be less. Then the pound's gonna lose.
Even the Swiss franc was down. the Swiss franc was actually below the dollar. It was,
Yeah.
99 or 98 cents.
Yeah, we have family in Switzerland. My wife lived there while she was born there. So
Oh wow.
yeah, the franc lost power, which is unusual if you guys know the history of franc. I don't think we're done with the bank failures either, by the way. I don't think we've seen all of it yet. I think more coming on that. And if you guys looked at XLF lately, but it's at a really big level here. They had a really good bounce. It's at a huge level here. I'm not sure who's buying regional banks, but they must be brave. Not saying it's not a bad spot reward wise, but man, I just don't see how they're gonna get out of this with the soft landing.
Oh, wasn't Jamie Dimon buying up those regional banks?
Well, he's buying them, right? But what about those that have really toxic assets, right? That really, really over leveraged, and you're not going to get a penny for $1. You're going to have to pay a premium, and eventually, I mean,
Didn't he buy the bank? Wasn't there a bank that failed that they picked up?
Oh, they've been buying all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, they have the unrealized bonds losses that are through the roof. I don't know if you guys saw Bank of America, but they had like $130 billion worth of unrealized losses on their bond portfolio. So it'll be interesting times.
What did Dumpster post something about the bond stuff? Can you explain that?
Let me see. What did he post?
No, with the video. He said there was a video that explained
Oh,
something. I couldn't
yeah.
find the video, and I was trying to find out what's up with that.
Let me see. So I think he posted about the spike, the reverse purchases of bonds and the supply of the bonds. So currently they were buying or offering 110 or 150 billion dollars of bonds. Next year they said they plan on doing 10 billion. So they're gonna suppress the supply.
So that's less cash generation.
That's correct. So
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. So most people are gonna look for opportunity to go into something where they can make money. And that makes assets, the equities cheap. So we'll see how it plays. I just don't see why the 2-year did what it did the past 2 days. The long-term bonds up, yeah, it spiked, but I just don't understand why the 30-year
Is that
bond, what their problem is, right? The long-term maturities are the issue that they didn't account for in the U.S. government for a long time. They offered a lot of 2-year bonds.
Refunding?
Yeah, the refunding process, correct.
Okay.
I can touch on it if you guys want in the class, explain it a little bit in layman terms.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know the bonds, the yields, prices, inverse relationships. I don't know who understands all of that or not, but the bonds pretty much own the markets. They move everything.
Yep.
Well, we need to know that.
Well, when the bond sales sell and they go bad, the market crashes. So I know.
That's how you issue debt.
Burnside always points that out.
That's how America issues debt, is your bonds. That's how we live. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go hit the bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And
Thank you so much, Shorty.
see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.